Hey guys, I'm Rin. I'm the rank 1 North America, and this is actually going to be the game that got me rank 1 global. So I wanted to highlight this game because A, it's a game where you see me end up falling behind, and then B, it's the game that I actually ended up getting rank 1 on. So, that's pretty cool. I'll talk about like my thought processes and stuff like that for actually attaining rank 1 and how I improve and blah 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 in the video as we watch it, as well as describing what I do. So obviously you notice I'm a jungler. I like playing a role with high agency. It helps me a lot, especially when trying to carry games. I can play with players that I don't consider to be, say, I guess like the best if I want to, because I can trust myself to carry because I play a high agency role. Not to say that I don't play with like great players, but you know what I mean. It's a very impactful role and it has a lot of agency. On top of this, picking characters that are very high impact and very high agency, such as Tsareena, is a good idea as well. So we ended up using Tsareena for a majority of our climb. We had like, I think at the time I did like 120 games. This is obviously like right as Tsareena came out, so she was at her strongest. They ended up just nerfing her like not too long ago. So you can see I end up dying super early. So I end up falling behind. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of what ends up going through my mind when I end up falling behind like this. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, they have an Absol. Their Absol ended up snowballing. That's slightly expected. It's not too big of a deal. Can actually punish him a little bit. What I want to do is their Absol is going to be kind of late on his timing, assuming he ends up playing normally. He actually doesn't. He actually just runs straight bot. But my initial process or thought process was I'm going to do this bottom 3 clears, my buffs and then my crab, and then I'm going to go run bot and try to look for a gank. But he ends up ganking bot early, so I end up looking bot, and I actually end up catching back up, at least initially, from getting a kill on him. So in general, in games like this, what I'm trying to look to do is I'm trying to look to hard snowball one of my lanes before Dreadnought happens. And so right now I'm just playing for bot lane. I don't really have anything to farm. My top lane should be fine. Even though he ended up dying early, he's an E-speed Lucario, so he should be fine at Bs. And so we just end up staying bot, doing stuff bot. I know the enemy Absol has to do his jungle in order to actually gain levels because it's all up, so that's fine. Looks like he's going to have his Unite before Dreadnought spawns, but whatever. We end up killing him here, which is pretty cool. And then my thought process is we go on the enemy, we kill the enemy, we look to instantly shred Zapdos. Or Dreadnought, rather. Probably shouldn't have dove this as much as I did. Right now, you're going to see issue number 1 that came with this. And that is, well, they stole Dreadnought. So we're actually in a pretty bad position right now. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, we lost the early game. They got the Dreadnought, even though we ended up killing him a few times bot. So we're not too far behind bot. But in terms of EXP, they also got the Rotom, they broke top. They are ahead right now. And they are playing a snowbally comp with Absol. They just killed my bot lane too. So I'm thinking to myself, well, I need to come back into this game. We're pretty far behind. How do I do it? So the things that we look for when we're behind like this are going to be things like farm, obviously, but a big thing is going to be catch-up EXP. So like looking for kills on people who are higher level than you and like blowing ults at awkward timings just to get EXP on them. That's going to help you crawl back into the game. So right there, we go for the Mime. He's level 9. The Wiggly is level 7. So if we get the kill on the Mime, the Wiggly will get a lot of EXP, but we don't end up getting it. So it's whatever. So at this point, we're looking to just outnumber somebody. So we call our team bot. We look to break the tower. They end up having a few people here, but that's whatever. We look for the dive anyway. We're behind. We want to look for plays, right? Want to try and be proactive. They end up blowing their ults. That's fine. Break this. Look for some kills. And then we actually end up killing them, scoring a decent amount. So we actually made like a decent comeback here. We scored. They ended up scoring top, but us trading when we're behind is actually worth it. It helps us crawl back into the game. We killed a few of them. We got their Mime ult. We ended up using Wiggly ult, but 100% worth. So once again, we're at the stage of the game where we're still behind. We're going for second Dreadnought, and we're thinking to ourselves, well, we need to come back somehow. Obviously, second Dreadnought is going to be a really big fight for us, so we need to try to look for a pick around there. We're missing the Wiggly ult. I'm thinking to myself right now, Mime also doesn't have ult, so we want to try and play around Mime probably not having ult. It is a really short cooldown, so maybe he's actually been farming it, but I don't think he has. Anyway, Dreadnought's up. One of our players is on respawn, so we're at a disadvantage. Try to look for a fight here. Doesn't end up working out well. My ult gets canceled, so I try to back out. We go back in for a steal, and, well, unfortunately, we don't get it. So we're actually in a really bad position now. They got both Dreadnoughts. They're going to break our bot goal. They already broke our top goal. They're going to be able to transition up to Rotom. They have a massive EXP advantage on us here. At this stage of the game, we're thinking to ourselves, all right, the situation's pretty dire. We're going to have to resort to almost like a guerrilla warfare kind of gameplay in order to come back. So we can't fight them like head on. So we need to do like some essentially like sneaky gameplay in order to get back into the game. So things like obviously like stealing objectives can be one thing that's sneaky, but they end up overextending here, and that's really good for us. We stole the objective, we blew some ults at a timing when we knew they had no ults. We end up coming back into the game slightly, kill them all here. This is really big for us right now. I don't remember if I end up... Oh yeah, actually I do remember this. This is me being a little cheeky. I'm trying to make plays right now to try and come back into the game. So, you guys can see this. I actually would have killed them if this Mime didn't ult here, but you know what, whatever. I'll trade my life for Mime's ult. That's fine. So at this point in the game, we're thinking to ourselves, we made like a decentish comeback. I think they're still ahead in EXP, but we're not in a position where we're super hard losing anymore. So what do I want to do? Well, we probably want to contest them at Dreadnought. We know it's probably going to be the Zapdos, or not the Zapdos fight. It's going to be pretty close to Zapdos, so we probably don't want to blow ults unless the fight ends up dragging out till like 220 or so. It's going to be around the timing where when you die, you're not going to have access to Zapdos anymore, depending on if you're ahead or behind. We're behind in this case, so that's perfect, or that's a perfectly fine timing. But we actually decide to call that off because I don't have my ults, and we instead go for back caps. So we end up getting 3 back caps over here. And then you're going to see me make a really, really stupid play. One part of hitting rank 1 is sometimes you just have to rely on raw mechanics to get lucky and bail yourself out of situations where you act dumb. This was probably the stupidest thing I could have done at the timing. After we got the dunks top, we were perfectly fine. We were in a great position, and I end up almost throwing the game because I tried to steal their buffs for no reason when I know they're coming to our top side. I could have just chosen to run out, but instead I play like an idiot. And well, I end up getting a kill because we just outplayed them mechanically, but we shouldn't even be in this position where we had to blow so many ults. Ended up matching their ults, so we're actually in a not bad position right now, but still, stuff like that. I mean, we can crawl out of it with mechanics, but it's still a mistake. So we're in like a somewhat sketchy position here. We have 2 players dead on our, or 3 players dead on our side. Our Lucario's almost dead, and they have had their entire team alive. We end up killing 2 of them, the Lucario and I. So we're actually back in a good spot now. But once again, all this stems from my mistake. So part of hitting rank 1 is accepting when you end up making mistakes, I guess. So we kill their team, blah, blah, blah. We don't actually want to flip this here because we are in the lead, and I don't want to take a coin flip where I'm pretty low and end up losing the game to it. We can defend this pretty easily, actually, because we know they have no ults. So I was originally going to go farm up my ult, but then I realized that they're trying to flip Zapdos, so we want to just kind of run at them. So my team is chasing the Absol. No one's really chasing the Venusaur, so I decided to make the Venusaur my priority. So we go on him. I noticed the Venusaur is zoned off, so I just back off, and then here you can just see, I guess, raw mechanics just come into play, I suppose. Their Venusaur got styled on, he didn't get to play the game, we end up getting the score right before the end, and well, that's the story of how we hit rank 1. Anyway, if you guys like this kind of commentary, or like gameplay analysis, like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, you know, all that good stuff. Helps with the algorithm. I'll be making probably more content like this in the future, I'm not sure. Anyway, until next time, take care.